Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. As you guys know, Team USA won the Olympic, the gold medal yesterday. Congratulations to them. And LeBron James was the Finals MVP. All right. And in the aftermath of all of that, there's been a lot of conversation surrounding what took place. Some people are upset that Stephen Curry didn't win. Some people are saying that LeBron is the GOAT, blah, 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 blah. But our usual neighborhood troll in Nick Wright, and, you know, here's what gets me. Some people come to our channel and say, oh, you're the next Skip Bayless. And I always wonder, so what is Nick Wright? What is Nick Wright? What is Nick Wright? LeBron fans will criticize people like me, but they love Nick Wright, who I personally believe is for certifiably one of the biggest trolls in all of sport. He's a troll. Nick Wright is a flat out troll. I don't take the vast majority of what Nick Wright says, especially when it comes to this GOAT debate and all of that. So going into that final game, Nick Wright on the show, First Things First, which is a good show, by the way, was on the set with Kevin Wiles. I don't think Chris Broussard was in attendance. And they came up with a segment. And this segment was essentially centered on who has the most to lose in this Olympic gold medal game. And he was going through the list, the gambit of players. He then gets to number 2, and he goes, LeBron James is the second player with the second most to lose. And then he goes, but he's not the one with the most to lose. And he goes to the final one, and he goes, the person with the most to lose is Michael Jordan. For those of you guys who don't even believe that Nick Wright actually said what he said, we want to actually play his comments for you so you guys can hear it for yourselves. But before we even get into the madness and the sheer lunacy of what Nick Wright said, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. For example, I am super excited about the upcoming MLB games. With Game Time tickets, I can easily pick the best tickets for me. I love that I can choose between different deals. I have the option to select the cheaper deal, the best option deal, or my favorite, the flash deal. The flash deal gives me the option to find discounts that I can only find on Game Time. Once I select the ticket I want, I can view my seat. And it's not just restricted to baseball. I can also look for the best ticket deals for other sports like football, the NBA, concerts, comedy, or other theater shows. Included in my purchase, I also have a 24-hour return guarantee, a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we'd like to do now is we'd like to play exactly what Nick Wright had to say yesterday on his show, and then we're going to come back and react to his absolutely insane comments. Take a listen to Nick Wright here.
Most to lose in the gold medal game. Number 5, Grant Hill. Here's the thing, USA basketball. Who's going to play for 2028? Just curious. Anthony Edwards is in. Who else?
If I'm Tatum, I'm like, nah.
I don't know if Tatum's in. I don't know if Jaylen Brown's in. LeBron probably will be retired.
Honestly, Cooper Flag was in that scrimmage.
Yes.
Like, Cooper,
there is a real cost to building this team this way and then having Tatum iced out, Jaylen Brown not there.
Chet and Jaylen Brown.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's something. But, all right, number 4.
I get excited for this.
Speaking of it, Jason Tatum. It's just been a bad. Win or lose tomorrow. It's just a rough spot.
No, not if he win. Not if he plays and plays well.
Oh, I don't think all of a sudden it's like, hey, now you're a featured member of the rotation.
If he gets iced out again, yes. But if he gets double-digit points, it'll be like,
oh yeah, sure. But I mean, he's been unproductive when he's gotten opportunities. So most to lose Tatum. Number 3, yikes, Rudy Gobert. So I don't know if you've been following the France box scores, but Rudy Gobert is experiencing this Olympics much like he experienced some playoff runs in Utah, which is as the games get more important, his role diminishes.
Weird.
The fact that it's happening with France in the Olympics is baffling. I think he has to be excellent tomorrow for them to have a chance. I'm very curious what happens. Number 2 on this list also, oddly, LeBron. He has the second most to gain and the second most to lose, because if they lose, folks will hang this around him. It will be wildly unfair. He's been the best player on the team, but it will be a referendum on LeBron. However, the person with the most to lose, assuming Team USA wins, is one Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
What?
Because, well, a lot of people are, because of LeBron's excellence in these Olympics, looking up that 92 Dream Team. They're like, hey, who was the only guy who didn't play well? Who was the only guy who shot poorly from the field and turned the ball over and probably was out gambling in the casinos in Barcelona? And by the way, how old was he? And how old's LeBron? And how many golds? And so I'm just, again,
box score watch. You got to watch the games.
Okay, that's fine.
You watch all the games?
So you heard what Nick Wright had to say. Nick Wright personally believes that by LeBron James winning his gold medal, Michael Jordan loses out. And Michael Jordan is the most to lose. And the question someone needs to ask is, well, what exactly is Michael Jordan supposed to be losing? What is he supposed to be losing out on? Help me figure this out. Let me hip y'all up to something. Do you know Michael Jordan never lost a game in international competition? I'll repeat that. Do you know Michael Jordan has never lost a game in international competition? Do you know Kobe Bryant has never lost a game in international competition? Do you know who has a bronze medal to his name? The person that he said is the one that surpassed Michael Jordan. So, Nick Wright, I have a question for you. This is the sheer just insanity of LeBron fans. If this gold medal puts LeBron ahead of Jordan, what does that bronze medal do? I'll repeat. If this gold medal helps LeBron's argument against Jordan, what does the bronze medal do for LeBron's argument against Michael Jordan? Do you know what else? I'm 100% sure, 100% sure that there are some LeBron fans that don't even know LeBron James won a bronze medal in the Olympics, in the 2004 Olympics. I'm 100% certain of that. That there's some LeBron fans out there that believe that this guy won all the gold medals. LeBron is not even the person with the most gold medals on the team. It's Kevin Durant with 4. With 4. So what does that do for Kevin Durant's legacy against LeBron? You know what LeBron fan gonna say? Nothing. So KD's medal does nothing for KD's argument against LeBron, but LeBron's medal does something against Jordan, and LeBron has a bronze medal. Okay, let's play that game. Let's play the game. This gold medal has a positive net effect on LeBron versus Jordan. Okay. Let me ask you now another question. Does the 6 finals, or rather the 40% win percentage in the finals, have a negative effect on LeBron versus Michael Jordan? What about the fact that LeBron never had one three-peat in his career? Not even one. While playing with way more all-star talent throughout the course of his career. How is it possible that Michael Jordan, when he came back to the Bulls at the age, the Wizards at the age of 39, almost got the Washington Wizards into the playoffs with a bad knee, with no other top 75 player on his roster. But LeBron James, with Russell Westbrook, with Carmelo Anthony, with Anthony Davis, didn't even make the play-in tournament. Does that hurt LeBron's legacy against Michael Jordan? I'm trying to figure this out. Or what about the fact that LeBron has only made 5 all-defensive teams in 22 years? 22 years. Whereas Jordan made 9 and got a Defensive Player of the Year. Does that help? What about the fact that Jordan has 10 scoring titles, so LeBron's 1? What about the fact that Jordan has 6 Finals MVPs, so LeBron's 4? What about the fact that Jordan's team never lost more than 2 games in 8 years? What about the fact Jordan has the highest scoring average for any player in the history of the NBA in the regular season? What about the fact Jordan has the highest scoring average in the playoffs for any player in the history of the NBA? What about the fact Michael Jordan was able to three-peat when he had just 1 All-Star player? The moment he got 1 All-Star player, he three-peated. What about the fact Michael Jordan in his NBA career only lost 1 playoff series when he had an All-Star? Do those things help Jordan? Do they help them? What about the fact Michael Jordan never had a mental collapse in an NBA Finals round and had to basically get carried off of the floor because he was an abject embarrassment to the sport of basketball? What about the fact Michael Jordan was never known as the catalyst of the person that ruined the competitive balance in basketball by joining a Big Three and forming a Big Three in Miami? What about the fact that LeBron needs all of these guys and pays them in media, and now an independent media, some former NBA players, pays them to argue on his behalf? Why isn't LeBron comfortable with his resume speaking for himself? What about all of that? Does that help? LeBron fans are insane. They are insane. They actually think this is an argument. In their minds, they think this is a debate. LeBron fans stooped so low that they tried to turn an in-season tournament into something of some sort of value. Do you know some of them were so shameless that they were posting online? LeBron is a 5-time NBA champion and 5 times final. They were actually doing that. I saw the comments. Nick Wright is a clown. He's a clown. He's not serious. Nick Wright is disingenuous. Listen, I was watching a show yesterday that Marco, co-founder of Dreamers Pro, sent to me of Patrick Bet-David. Value Timmy. Y'all know Patrick Bet-David. And he was talking about the 20 ways to grow a podcast, a YouTube channel, whatever the hell you want to call it. And one of the things he said was, be yourself, right? Be yourself. Talk about current events. Be yourself. The worst thing you can be known as is to be viewed as a fake. As a person that goes out there that only says things for clicks and views. People talk about Skip Bayless. Nick Wright is the exact same, except he's on the other end of the spectrum. He's on the other end of the spectrum. If y'all hate Skip Bayless for trolling LeBron, what do you think about Nick Wright? Nick Wright has been a chronic troll of Jordan. Nick Wright he was the only person I ever heard come out of his mouth and say Kobe Bryant was never the best player in the NBA at any point when he played. He's also the same person that went on FS1, and this is where he made his big move, where he said that LeBron James had passed Michael Jordan in 2016 when he won the final. Nick Wright said this. These are the things that Nick Wright said. I cannot respect a man that will throw away his morals and integrity for money. I don't respect you. I can't. As a man, I cannot respect you because I know you're going to say anything to make money. And there are a lot of them out there. We're not going to say names. We know them. We know them by their works. We know them based off of the things that they say. There are some people that are willing to say anything to get ahead in life. And if that means they got to go up there and clown and turn themselves into a sideshow and say ridiculous, outlandish things, they will do it because it makes them money. Some people do it for money. Some people do it for attention. Some people, the sad part is that's all they can do. Let me say it again. some people, if they don't play that game and they were just straightforward and honest and gave sensible takes, they would never get ahead. So they now have to say these ridiculous, outlandish things to pander to people. I don't respect these people at all. I don't respect your position. I don't, because you're in that seat in an untowards. You did it in an untowards manner. You weaseled your way to that position by saying crazy things. The worst kind of liar is a person that lies straight to your face and gaslights you. Nick Wright is one of these people that can spit in your face and tell you it's raining. He can. They can. So to me, man, look, it is annoying to me because these are the people that are being promoted. These are the people that are being promoted. You would never hear any serious journalist say the stuff that Nick writes. You wouldn't hear a serious one say that. Anyone worth their salt say the stuff that he says. You wouldn't. But this is what sports media has become. And it's one of the reasons why I'm actually getting sick of sports media. The reason we're going to start talking about politics. Yeah, there are days why I enjoy talking about sports. But I got to say, all too often, there are too many clowns that are being promoted in sports media. And the buffoonery is what's being promoted. And it seems like the more outlandish things you say, the more you act like a damn fool, the more you're going to be promoted. It seems like that's what people love in sports media. You got to act like a fool, say stupid things, say outlandish things, and that's going to be the way you make your money. And to me, man, I think there should be a limit to all of this. There should be a limit. It hurt Michael Jordan's legacy. Nick Wright owes his career to Michael Jordan. LeBron fans talking about he owes his career. Nick Wright made his name on that day he went on Undisputed when Shannon Sharpe was there and put that outlandish take. Go Google Nick Wright, YouTube Nick Wright, and look for his most viewed video. That video is his most viewed video. He said something so outlandish that it caused people to tune in to hear the craziness, and boom, he figured out his way to the top. I'm just going to hate on Michael Jordan and say crazy things. And just basically pander to the LeBron sycophants and the zealots in the corner. And then this time I'm going to move up the ladder. And if you're a LeBron guy in media, you're on the right track. You're going to make a lot of damn money. If you're a LeBron guy, you're going to make a lot of money. If you want to go into sports media, you want to make a lot of money, be a LeBron James fan. Say he's the greatest. And you're going to move forward. Sell your soul. Go ahead. I know some of y'all just can't resist. These are my. So today we're gonna be talking about them damn LeBron James fans. These people, man. These people cannot be stopped. They cannot be stopped. They can't be stopped. But these are the people that we're gonna be talking about today. So, for those of you who've been following the Olympics, you will know that when they made it into America, made it into the elimination round, they were slated to face 4 teams if they made it all the way to the finals. First team they faced was Brazil. They were in one of the weakest brackets. So anyway, they faced Brazil. They beat them convincingly. Then the next team that they faced was Serbia, right? Which really gave them a run for their money. And if you watch that Serbia game, if you watched it, it would have been apparent to you that had Stephen Curry not did what he did in that first half, not only would the United States have lost that game, they would have got blown off the floor. Stephen Curry scored 36 points. He hit 9 3-pointers, and he was the one that kept America alive. We did a live after the game, and I was giving away. I said I was distributing credit. If it was 100%, I said I would give 70% to Stephen Curry. Then the rest I would share between LeBron James, Joel Embiid, and Kevin Durant. Stephen Curry was the reason that America was able to go past Serbia. We then get to the Olympics game, the championship game, which was last night. And in the first half, it was anybody's game. But as the game started to get tight and France started to really make it a competition, Stephen Curry put forth one of the most historic performances you will see by any basketball player in any game ever. And given the stakes and what was at stake, not only did Stephen Curry rise to the occasion, he took over the entire moment. We witnessed Stephen Curry's greatness in a way that I don't think we've ever witnessed it in his career, because in that moment he was on a global stage because it's the Olympics, and he absolutely delivered for the United States. Stephen Curry in yesterday's game finished that game with 24 points to lead all scorers, 8 3-point shots, 5 assists, 2 steals. He had 5 turnovers, so did others, in 30 minutes. And once again, he was the absolute difference, unquestionably the difference for the United States yesterday. When we did a live subsequently, people were saying Steph should be the MVP. Steph should be the MVP. And I told him, I said, look, Stephen Curry should be the MVP. But I said they're not going to give it to him. I said, this is all about politics. It has very little to do about basketball. This is all politics. And I said that there's no way, if Stephen Curry liked, he could have scored all the points for USA. There's no way that they're going to give that gold medal award, the MVP award, to LeBron James. And shortly after the game concluded, that is exactly what they did. But here's something I don't think they factored for. When they announced that LeBron James was the MVP of the tournament, NBA fans went into an absolute uproar all over the internet, and all of them were saying that Stephen Curry got robbed. So I want to get into some of the posts where people just lost their minds. The first one is from NBA on ESPN and ESPN. And the post read, and I'm going to show it to you now. It says, LeBron James men's basketball Olympics MVP. Let me get into some of the comments. One person said, Curry showed up last 2 games. LeBron showed up every game. Bron MVP. These people are so crazy. They forgot about what Kevin Durant also did, but I digress. Another person said, I'm sorry, but LeBron wouldn't have seen a gold medal this year without Curry. Another person said, LeBron James led the team in rebounds, assists, blocks, and PPG until the final game, which Curry surpassed him in points per game. LeBron is definitely the MVP. Another person said, Curry balled out the last 2 games. LeBron sensational the whole way through. How can people not understand this? Another person said, the best player by far of these Olympics. Another person said, everyone knows it should be Curry. Another person said, this is wrong. Another person said, Curry got robbed. Another person said, Curry robbed for real. Bro carried that U.S. team. Of course, another insane LeBron fan wrote, GOAT debate over. Another person said, of course, my glorious king. So that's what that post said. I want to show you another post. This is from Sports Center. Look at this post. Just look at it. It says, King James leads the way. LeBron James will leave Paris with his 3rd gold medal, Olympic gold medal. One person said, you mean Curry? Another person said, Curry deserved this edit. Another person said, King Curry, but we get it. Another person said, no hate, but Curry put that team on his back. Another person said, Curry closed the game for sure. LeBron managed it. Salute to Team USA. Another person said, Chef Curry led the way. One of the viewers said, Curry started shooting like it's 2015 playoffs versus OKC. One of the viewers said, no, Curry led the way. Another person said, Curry led the way with 24 points off of 8 3-pointers. And it just kept on going on and on and on. Let me get into some of the stats of this Olympics. In terms of points, Stephen Curry led the way in points per game. In terms of rebounds, LeBron led the way in rebounds per game. In terms of assists, LeBron led the way in assists per game. What they won't tell you in all of this is that LeBron played the most minutes per game. He played the most minutes. And that was by design. LeBron played by far the most minutes of any player on this team. Now, some of you may say, well, it's because they needed him. Did they really? Did they really? LeBron wasn't even the best American player on their roster. Stephen Curry wasn't the best American player on that roster. Kevin Durant wasn't the best American player on that roster. The real best player on that roster was Jason Tatum. And I want to tell you why I said before that this is all about politics. I want to share some information with you guys. Are you guys aware that Jason Tatum was the only American player last season, the only American basketball player in the world to make the all-first NBA team last year? Let me repeat that. Jason Tatum was the only American player. All of these other guys you see on that roster, LeBron, KD, all of them, go down the line and count them. Not one of them sniffed the all-first NBA team. Not one of them. Not one of them. Jason Tatum made the first all-NBA first team last year. And he probably played close to the least amount of minutes on the entire roster. In this entire playoff, in this entire run. It was by design. It wasn't meant for Jason Tatum to win. It wasn't meant for Stephen Curry to win. It wasn't meant for Kevin Durant to win. They had already decided that no matter what happens, LeBron is going to win this MVP. NBA fans see through it. LeBron fans see through it, but they act like they don't know what they see. This is politics. It is politics. It has nothing to do with he was the best player. He played the most minutes. Give Jason Tatum LeBron's minutes and see what happens. Give him his minutes. They wouldn't even sit him. They gave him all the point guard responsibilities. All of it. They said, you're going to run the team. And they ensured by basically stat padding to ensure that LeBron got this gold medal MVP. They did that. We all saw it. But for them to now give that award and say, oh, he led the way. Really? Really? LeBron led the way. It's politics and sports, folks. We catch. So, yesterday, first of all, we want to congratulate Team USA for winning the Olympic gold. This is their 5th straight Olympic gold, so congratulations to the USA team. They played very well, and they were able to capture their 5th Olympic gold. They were the favorites going into this tournament, and they came out victorious at the end. I don't think there's a really big shock there, right? So yesterday was the game, the finals against France, right? France, who featured players like Nicolas Batum, Victor Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert, and others. Going into that game, most people thought that USA was going to win the game, including me. We even put up a poll on our channel, and I think roughly 80% of the voters voted, asking them who they think is going to win between France or USA. About 80% of the voters said that USA was going to win that game. So that was no real surprise. And as I was watching the game, I wasn't as intrigued with this game as I was with that Serbia game. And the reason was because the Serbia game was much more competitive. There was much more theater. There was much more drama, which made it more fun. It was a competitive thing, right? So once the games are competitive, they're more enjoyable to watch. This game, it was competitive at moments, but you never got the sense that Team USA was losing control or anything like that. So I was watching the game, right? I watched the game from start to finish. And as I'm watching the game, I believe it was in the second half of the game. I don't remember the exact moment of the game, but I think if my memory serves me right, it was in the second half of the game. So as I'm watching the game, France is trying to make a run and they're trying to, make a comeback and all of that stuff. And a French player by the name of Yabusele, right, who was balling out in that game, absolutely balling out in the Olympic gold medal game, out of nowhere, gets loose on the baseline, and he starts charging to the basket. And LeBron James stepped in to try to take the charge, and he got absolutely boomed on. Like, when he dunked on him, I was like, wait a minute, wait. What the hell just happened right now? We even posted about it on the community section of our channel yesterday, right? I was like, damn, LeBron just got boomed up, right? It was pretty graphic if you saw the game, right? And I know everybody that saw the game saw like, yo, this is pretty crazy, right? The game goes on, whatever. And America wins the game. So I jump onto my Instagram. By the way, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, my handle is CTABANZ. I jump on my Instagram and various accounts start posting about it. Bleacher Report posts about it. ESPN posts about it. But what came next absolutely floored me, because there were LeBron James fans that were absolutely losing their mind, like quite literally losing their minds in the comment section. And some of them were taking it so far to the point where they were saying that it was AI, that it never really happened. These are fake images. Before we even get into the sheer lunacy of these people, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. For example, I am super excited about the upcoming MLB games. With Game Time tickets, I can easily pick the best tickets for me. I love that I can choose between different deals. I have the option to select the cheaper deal, the best option deal, or my favorite, the flash deal. The flash deal gives me the option to find discounts that I can only find on Game Time. Once I select the ticket I want, I can view my seat. And it's not just restricted to baseball. I can also look for the best ticket deals for other sports like football, the NBA, concerts, comedy, or other theater shows. Included in my purchase, I also have a 24-hour return guarantee, a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So we want to show you the first post. And this first post has LeBron James. It was actually a slide image. You have one image of LeBron looking up there, zooming in on his face, while Yabusele is dunking on him. And if you scroll over the next image, you see the picture of LeBron trying to take the charge with him getting absolutely annihilated. And that's from ESPN. In another image, this is from Bleacher Report. And it goes, Yabusele. It goes, Yabusele. They actually spelled his name wrong. They spell Yabusul. Put LeBron on a poster, and they had the like wow emoji. I want to get into the comments. Let's start going through some of what people are saying. Delete this bleep. Damn, AI getting dangerous. The Secret Service is going to be at your door, Bleacher Report. Another person said that was a charge. Bron never got dunked on. Another person said, they're gonna erase this footage from existence. Delete this. It didn't happen, bro. Another person said, bro, it doesn't matter. He's 39. Another person said, AI getting too real. Delete this. Another person said, this was a charge. Call that bleep. Another person said, it was supposed to be a defensive play. Does that still count as a poster? If Bron jumped and contested, I think this is qualified as a poster. Another person said, damn, AI so advanced nowadays. I want to go to the next post. What did these other people say? And ESPN is now blocked. This is a LeBron fan. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. Another person said, delete this now. Don't ever disrespect my king. Listen to these people. Another person said, delete this. It was a charge. Prize Picks said, why ESPN posting AI? Prize Picks said that. Another person said, why are you posting this, ESPN? And it just kept on going on and on and on. Let me see if I can find one other comment. Don't disrespect the king like this, like that again. Another person said, report this. Listen to these people. You see, people don't understand when I tell you that some of these LeBron fans are just sheer lunatics. People do not understand when I say it. They think that I'm picking on LeBron fans. You people don't know LeBron fans. These people, the vast majority of them, are the worst fan base in all of basketball. They are by far the worst. They are the worst of, they're the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. These people are so disillusioned that they actually believe that this, number one, never happened. And number two, it is AI. They actually believe that. That is actually AI generated imagery or footage or whatever the hell you want to call it. They don't believe it occurred. So what the rest of the world, what we all saw live, these people think it never happened. They think that it's being made up, that it doesn't exist. The second thing I want you guys to pay attention to is the following. When I say ESPN and these companies are the LeBron James network, people don't believe me. ESPN, Bleacher Report, they're the LeBron network. What they do is basically post LeBron propaganda 7 days a week. That's all they do. And whenever you have moments like this, their viewers all of a sudden don't know how to react because they're not used to seeing anything if it's not positive about LeBron James. LeBron fans go to these accounts to get positive reinforcement. And whenever you have something like this, where they show something where LeBron may not be in a positive light, they all of a sudden start to have a malfunction. All of a sudden, they're telling you better take it down. I'm unsubscribing from it for one post. For one post. Had that been any other player that was being dunked on by LeBron, do you honestly believe that these people would have said it was AI generated? Do you honestly believe that? Do you honestly believe that they will be saying some AI made this? Of course not. And the thing that gets me is that, and I said it to one of our viewers who left a comment on the channel yesterday because I dared to give Stephen Curry credit. I said, for as much as you guys have ESPN, Bleacher Report, Fox Sports, all of these big media companies, then you have the personalities, then you have even some independent guys that are all LeBron guys. You have all of these guys feeding you the information that you want, twerking it up every single day, knocking over drinks, spilling honey all over the table, just running through the woods with their pitchforks, hollering and screaming, fighting bears for honey, just all type of crazy, you know what, man? Just basically disturbing the peace. These people. You have all of these people doing all of this for you. And whenever you have other creators that go out there and say something different, that's different to that messaging that you receive, all of a sudden they're haters. All of a sudden they're haters because they didn't join along to rub honey all over their bellies and tummies with you guys. It's crazy to me. LeBron fans are insane. This is just my person. They're insane, these people. They say anything. They have no shame. I mean, for you to go up there and say that was a and then they're telling them delete why should they delete it? Why should they delete it? Had that been any other player, had that been Michael Jordan being dunked on, had that been Kobe Bryant being dunked on, y'all would have loved it. Y'all would have been gyrating all over the floor. They wouldn't have been able to stop you guys. Seriously, they would not have been able to stop you guys. But all of a sudden they posted, they were actually saying, delete this. Delete this. Now it was a charge. Here's what kills me about it, and I'll close with this. You remember when LeBron had that fake ass dunk on Paul George last season? their bodies didn't even touch. If you look at the play from under the basket with LeBron coming to the back, they didn't even touch each other. Paul George jumped LeBron past him. They turned that, LeBron posterized Paul George. It was a poster of the year. He posterized Paul George. I'm like, this is not even a poster. They didn't even touch. Paul George didn't even raise his hand to block the shot. He just jumped like this. He didn't even raise his hand to block. And LeBron fans were basically losing their damn minds. I remember you people. Y'all are crazy. They were losing their damn minds. It wasn't AI generated then, was it? That wasn't no AI then. Y'all sure didn't. I didn't see no comments about deleting them. Yo, talk about King James beating y'all chest. Doing like this all over the scroll. Yo, King James. Then the moment somebody else pulled, nah, man, it ain't real. It was taking a charge. Hollering and screaming. These people, man, LeBron fans are incredible. Not all of them, but about 90% of them are just insane, in my personal view. I really, really believe it. It is, you seldom will come across a LeBron fan that is reasonable. You will seldom come across, a LeBron fan will see something that is clear and they'll look you right in the face and act like they don't even know what the hell is going on. They'll act like they don't even know what's going on. Do you know how many LeBron fans that are not subscribed to our channel that comment every single day on every single video we post, even though they don't like our content? They can't help it. They cannot help it. They think it's their duty, like God sent them to the earth to defend LeBron. This is their duty. And the thing is, I don't even know where they got all this time from. I don't get it. LeBron fans, some of them are the first ones. The moment we publish content, they jumping up on the internet. Let me go see what he said. Oh, he hating. Some of them even use fake pics. They use pictures of Michael Jordan and act like they're LeBron. These people, man.